Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a movie that I finally watched. I actually remember being one of the first reviews for Sonic the Hedgehog 1 back in 2020, and that was one of the last movies that came out before the pandemic set in. And now we're coming towards a point where things are all, open again, and now we have another Sonic movie. It just feels like the life cycle was start and I'm not gonna say end, but like dwindling down of sorts. And now we've got a sequel. At the end of the first movie, you found Dr. Robotnik, who is trapped on the Mushroom Planet after what happened at the end of the film, and essentially he's trying to find a way back. When he does, he comes back with another character named Knuckles, who is played in this by Idris Elba, and he's there to take on Sonic for reasons that we're not fully sure of yet. And in the middle of all this, Tails, voiced by Colin O'Shaughnessy, is also here, and he wants to help Sonic in trying to stop Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik. It's a movie that I was actually quite interested in, because in the time since the first Sonic the Hedgehog, I've actually enjoyed that movie a little bit more on rewatch. I'll admit the first viewing of mine was not the best, but overall, ever since then, it's a movie that's kind of grown on me, and even though I still don't think it's a perfect movie by any stretch, it is one of the better video game movies that I've seen. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 very much continues that trend, and it does result in one of the better video game movies. In fact, I would argue that it's up there in like the top 5, top 3 even. This is a really fun and really entertaining movie, and it puts Sonic center stage. Sometimes these movies, they have one issue with them, which is always they amp up another element in order to take away from the element that you're really there to see, which is the CGI character. And God bless those CGI developers, like the work that they've done to make this movie, the focus is Sonic. The fact that they've done that is really great, which also means that you get a lot of focus time with Knuckles and Tails, and both of them are terrific. The voice work is fantastic as always. I think Idris Elba is phenomenal as Knuckles. Like, there are some lines with him that are just really, really great, and he really crushes it throughout. I also have to give a huge shout out to Colin O'Shaughnessy, who also played Tails in the games. So her coming back to play this character, and Tails is awesome. He has his gadgets, he's got his humor to him, and they do a really great job with that. And so is Ben Schwartz, of course. You have to give credit to him as Sonic. He once again absolutely crushes it. The human element, yeah, I mean, you have some of that, but it is dwindled down considerably compared to the first movie. Yes, you still have the main two humans that Sonic knows in this, and yes, they have their moments, but really the main human element in this movie is really just Robotnik. And Jim Carrey, once again, is stellar casting for the character. I mean, the first movie proved that, the second one proves it even more. You get a lot more sinister version of him in this one, something closer to what people remember of him as Eggman in the games, so you're going to be very pleased with that. And the movie delivers on all of those things very, very nicely. Yes, there is a lot of game fan service. You'll see a lot of moments here and there that very much attribute a lot of things that you see in the games. There's a one visual in particular which I was like, oh, that's pulled straight out of the games. That's pretty awesome. And all of that stuff that they've done, you can clearly tell that these filmmakers, that everybody who's involved in making this movie, they really care about this franchise. The visual effects are pretty great, except for a couple of shots here and there where you could kind of tell like that was very heavily CGI'd. For the most part, it's a very colorful and vibrant movie, and they definitely pulled off a lot of really great sequences. All the action sequences especially were really, really fun to see. Some really cool stuff that they do, especially towards the final bits of the movie. Like obviously when you were amping up to the big finale. All of that stuff, really, really great. All the humor, most of it lands a lot better than it did in the first movie. That was one of my issues with the first one. I thought it could have landed those jokes a little bit better. There's no obvious Zillow product placement in this one, but there are definitely some things here and there. They do make an Olive Garden reference again, which I thought was funny, because that was funny in the first movie as well. I can honestly say overall, putting it simply to you, I had a great time watching this movie. It has a mid-credit scene, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, do stick around for that. There's been some chatter about it online, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to give anything away. But it is a scene that if you've heard something like, hey, people were really happy about this, then yeah, you will be happy about this. Is it a perfect movie? No, not necessarily. It drags a little bit here and there in a few places. There are a couple of moments that were not great. There's a couple of scenes that aren't as funny as they were trying to make it be. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of things like that. Yeah, it's not exactly, super deep or anything, but then again, it's the kind of movie that embraces what it is and embraces it well. So at the end of the day, as long as you're satisfied with what you're watching, especially as a fan of the Sonic games, then what more do you want, honestly? I'm gonna give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a 7.5 out of 10. A jump from the first movie, a slight jump. So I think the first one's like a 7, this one 0.5 higher. But yes, definitely a much better movie. And looking forward to more people checking it out. And if you have, probably you've already seen it by now, but if you haven't, it is in theaters still, so definitely go take a look. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the movies.